Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it is time for another Euros group preview. Today, it is Group E. We've only got two groups left to do today. Group E, which of course includes Spain, it includes Slovakia, Sweden, and of course Poland. Then tomorrow we have the group of death, which is Group F. Before we do get into the video, as I say, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments and notification bell smashed. Of course, you can check out all the previous content if this is your first time doing it. It's easy enough to binge. It's like watching Netflix, man. Just binge it. Then on Thursday, we've got a live stream with the Before the Whistle Blows crew looking ahead to the Euros. And of course, on Friday, it all kicks off with Italy versus Turkey. So let's get straight into the video. So, guys, we're going to start with, of course, Spain. Possibly the favourites for this group, although I do think it is going to be difficult for them, if I'm being totally honest. You never know what you're quite going to get with this current Spain team, you know. It wasn't too long ago, I think they'd only won one game in, I think it was 5, losing to Greece, but then smashing the Germans 6-0, Ferran Torres getting a hat-trick. You really don't know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates at the minute. Obviously, Luis Enrique coming back in after obviously leaving the post, you know, when sadly his daughter was ill. But he's coming in and he is trying to inject a lot of youth into this side. Gone of the days, you know, the glory days of 2012 when they had such a great side. Obviously, the only two that were really left in the lead up to the Euros was, of course, Sergio Ramos and Sergio Busquets. Now, Ramos has been left out. That's the most shocking thing. It was so hard, guys. I'm not going to lie. It was so hard to find any Spain picture in this the ether that is the internet, to find anything without him in it. You know what I mean? It was genuinely rock hard in order to do that, because he is Spain. So for him to be left out of the Euros is a massive call for me, for Luis Enrique. And of course, Busquets recently just contracted COVID. The Spain squad are actually all training individually. That's not going to be great for preparation. As we know, Rodrigo Moreno didn't initially get a call-up. He's now been called up, I believe, as backup, just in case the likes of Morata can't play due to this COVID outbreak. So it's not ideal preparation for the Spanish side. Diego Llorente, obviously, in there as well from a Leeds perspective. So for me, it really is. You just don't know what you're quite going to get. It'd be interesting to see, obviously, who lines up at the back. Will it be Torres, Pau Torres, or alongside Laporte? Obviously, Laporte made his debut for the Spanish side not too long ago. It's madness, isn't it, that France have such an amazing abundance of talent that they're able to go to someone of Laporte's quality and say, do you know what, mate, we don't need you, go play for Spain. It's insane. It is insane. Obviously, the likes of Morata to lead the line, maybe Rodrigo Moreno. They have Koke, they have Rodri, Eric Garcia as well. Maybe he starts at the back, because there really is a mix of youth and experience within this Spain side. I think the key thing is it's clear that Spain will dominate a lot of these games during the group stage. They will see a lot of the ball. But for me, they've got a real difficult group to come up against, you know, low block sides that they're going to struggle to break down. And if they don't take the chances, you never know with this Spanish side under the tutelage of Luis Enrique. Obviously, Poland will be difficult, Sweden and Slovakia, you know. It could be a surprise to see it. They're obviously going to win some games, but I don't think it'll be as cut and dry as, say, you would expect Belgium in their group, for example. I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. I think Spain could struggle. Famous last words, guys, but you just don't know what you're quite going to get with this Spanish side at the minute. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on the comments. And the fact that Ramos has been left out, that's a huge shock for me. Next up, guys, is, of course, Slovakia. Slovakia led by the main man that is Hamsik. Great player, obviously, but aging player now. But let's not forget, and this is what I'm saying about this Spanish squad, you know, Slovakia have frustrated opponents in the past. You know, they knocked Italy out of the 2010 World Cup in the group stage. They also got a point against us at Euro 2016, each time getting through the knockout stages by being difficult to beat. Obviously, Hamsik is a great player. I think Rodak plays in goal, who was previously at Fulham. So, look, I don't know a lot about this Slovakian side. We all know Hamsik, of course, but I think they're going to be so difficult to beat. And could take a point or, offer Spain. It's this group for me is really the one that I look at with the most. I don't know what's going to happen, and you think that's a madness to think that Spain are in there. And I could be massively wrong, and Spain could win them all and could win them comfortably. I just think they're going to struggle to break down these low block sides, and Slovakia are just that. And of course, Hamsik's a great player, and we've seen in previous World Cup how he's led them to defeating, getting points against great opponents in England and in Italy that are, far superior nations, and getting them through to the knockout stages. Of course, when they get through to the knockout stages, it falls like a stone. But this group really is anybody's for me. So it'd be interesting to see how Slovakia get on. We've obviously got Poland and Sweden in there as well. It really is anyone's this. I want you to let me know in the comments if you fancy Slovakia to get out of the group. Can they get a point against this Spanish side? Next up, guys, is Poland. One Mateusz Klik's Polish side, obviously new coach in charge in Paulo Sousa, his first major tournament. Of course, for Poland, it is all about supplying Lewandowski. It's about getting the supply line to him for him to score the goals. Of course, he has potential to be, Golden Boot winner, top scorer in any tournament he's in. Of course, those behind him have a massive role to play in that, not least Mateusz Klik, who I believe Paulo Sousa is a big fan of. He likes players, obviously, who are able to read the game. They like to win the ball high up the pitch, create opportunities for Lewandowski, and Klik's perfect for that alongside Grakowiak, who has also played in the Premier League, of course. They've got Szczesny in goal, Bednarak, Glick at centre-back. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on, because, as I say, the relationship between Paulo Sousa and Polish fans as the media isn't that great. Having done a bit of research, he's made some crazy calls. He's tried a lot of systems. He's tried a lot of players. I think he made 7 debutants during the lead up to Euro 2020. But the previous coach's relationship had soured with the players, specifically Lewandowski. So it's going to be really interesting to see which Polish side can turn up. They have some great players, not least Mateusz Klik, obviously. I'm going to say that. But again, it's anyone's this group for me. So if they can get the service to Robert Lewandowski, one of the best strikers in the world, probably second to Harry Kane for me, that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, being in English, and I've got the 3 Lions on at the minute. I'm starting to realise that football's coming home the closer we get to this, kick-off on Friday. My England shirts came today and that, so I'm going to say Harry Kane is the best in the world. But listen, if they can get supply line to him, then of course he will score goals. So we'll have to wait and see. Genuinely, though, I can't call this group. And last but certainly not least is, of course, Sweden. An outside pick for me in this group, if I'm being totally honest. Of course, there was the return of, the Swedish god, self-proclaimed Swedish god. And I have a Swedish friend who also likens him to God. He is an absolute, stalwart from that nation. It is, of course, Zlatan Ibrahimovic returned. However, he's now got injured and won't be going to the tournament, which, of course, will have upset a lot of Swedish fans and their hopes for the Euros. But in actual fact, it could have a positive impact on this Swedish side. During qualifying, the coach, Janni Andersson, had no really key players, to call on, and more so created a system for this Swedish side that worked, built on a solid defensive foundation, and team spirit being a big part of it. Of course, young prodigies like the likes of Kulevski and, of course, Alexander Isak, who's, he's picked for big things. He's a player that I bought on Soccer Manager and all this sort of stuff because he's a young stalwart. Isak plays for Real Sociedad in Spain, and he's young and a great talent, a striker that maybe would have had to take a bit of a supporting role had Zlatan made the team, But now with Zlatan forced out from injury, I guess the coach goes back to that tried and tested method, defensive, team spirit that got them through to the Euros, of course. And there isn't just a focal point, because Zlatan, however good he is, because listen, I really rate the guy. I've read his book. I do like him. I'm a Leeds fan, and a lot of fans will go, yeah, but he played for Manchester United. But he's just one of them characters that I enjoy. He can take a lot of the limelight, But now Sweden obviously with the loss of him, can go back to that tried and tested method that got them through. Again, they're my outside pick for this group, if I'm honest. I don't mind Sweden. Obviously, it helps that I have a very good friend who's from Sweden, so I hope they do really well. Really interested to see Alexander Isak on the big stage. Well, of course, they have the likes of Emiliano Forsberg. They have Victor Lindelof at the back as well. Some players that we're aware of course. Pontus Jansson as well. Will he start? I'm not too sure. They like to play with the classic 4-4-2. So we'll see how they get on. But it really is anybody's, this group for me. And I know that's a madness because Spain are in this group. But I just think they might struggle. But then again, you never know what Spain you're going to get. They could turn up and absolutely blitz it. But they're going to struggle against these sides genuinely. We've seen that during qualifying, you know. Or some of the friendlies, I like to say, losing to Greece, but then absolutely hammering Germany 6-0, or I think it was. And Ferran Torres getting a hat-trick. So it really is anybody's. I want to know in the comments, guys, who you think is going to top this group. Am I right on Spain? Is it a case of they might not even get through the group, or am I way wide of the mark? And of course, tomorrow we have the group of death that includes France, Portugal, and Germany. Can't wait to get my teeth into that one. Make sure you check out all the other videos as well if this is your first time watching this. And of course, I'll have the daily leads for you in the morning at 6 a.m. But it's a pleasure, as always, to do this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, get your comments in. And don't forget to smash that notification bell so you're alerted when we do go live during the Euros for the watch-alongs. Thanks as always for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in a bit.